Meow.
Now, we're live.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Sorry for the wait.
We are here.
Yes, we made it.
So, we are here discussing the last book of last
2020.
year,
Mhm.
which was.
Oh, you have the physical.
Okay, with the physical copy.
Yes.
You
I'm
are
the
min-
reason why we started late, but at least I have the physical.
you are redeeming yourself. Like, I'm late, but I have the copy. So, the book was You Are Min One, Matthew Prince, and it's a very cozy romance, Christmas vibes.
Yep.
Where the main character Matthew Prince is a rich boy brat who we sent to his grandparents' house in the middle of nowhere, and it's a Walmart Fox Life romance, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Make it gay. That's it. That's the only.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you guys thought? What was your ratings to start? We have your cat. Hi, cat.
Hey,
Hi,
Kat.
Kat.
Do you want to go like in order of ratings?
I'm
Okay.
trying to remember what I rated it. So.
I got ratings pulled up because I like literally blanked on this book. I was like, it's been so long.
Like either 3.5 or 4 stars. Yes, 4 stars. Yes.
Okay.
Good for the moment. It's one of those books, basically. Like, it was completely my vibe while I was reading it, but like, do I remember anything? No.
No. I gave it 2.75 stars.
Oh no.
I think it's because I made the mistake of listening it to on audio. Like, I just couldn't with Matthew as a character. And then the person that was narrating also sounded very pretentious. So it was just so grating to my ears. I'm like, can this story finish? But
I listened to it as an audiobook.
oh my goodness. We got the differing opinions.
Yeah.
The narrator did a good job because he was pretentious.
Yes, I will say that. He did a good job because he literally sounded like a snobby rich person.
But it's annoying. I understand that. I also don't like that. Kat also gave.
Yeah, like I rounded it up to a 3 on Goodreads, but overall it was a 2.75 for me.
Okay, Kat is with you, and you, Mel.
4 stars for me. I agree with Natalie. It was like, I probably would read it around Christmas time. It was just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's between 3.5 and 4. It's cute, it's charming, it's Christmas vibe.
Yeah.
If it's like the best I read in gay romance, no, not even close for my favorite.
I actually
like a Hallmark Christmas movie kind of.
Yeah.
Like just to like go on just a tiny tangent. But I don't know if you guys have Ander and Santi were here on your TBRs. If you do,
Yes, I do.
Read it. That is a cute ass fucking. I love it. Santi,
yes, I
like,
have it on my TBR.
That is my baby right there. I love him so much. It's so gay and cute. Like, I love it.
I need to add it now. How do you spell their names?
Ander, and then there's like the ampersand, and then Santi. And it says
that one hasn't come out yet. I do have the arc though.
That's what I read the arc through Night Galley, and I was like, this is so fucking cute.
Oh yeah, I have because I read the first book by this author.
Yes, same. And
I've never read anything by this author. I just
me neither.
I just requested it because the cover, honestly, the cover was fucking gorgeous. And then I read the book and I was like, oh my God, this is so cute.
Yeah. The author debut, it was 1500 miles under the sun or from the sun, something like that. And it's hard. It's a hard read because he tackles what he went through as a gay boy in Texas. I think he was from Texas.
Yeah, this one there's talks of like ICE and deportation and stuff like that. So it does have some hard topics, but Ander and Santi together as a couple were just like my whole heart. I was rooting for them.
let's go for the book. Before we start.
Oh yeah.
Before 5 minutes
Wanted
in, we're
y'all to have that on your radar.
in a tangent.
Oh,
It's
is
it's
what
us.
we-
We are this. We should change to the chaotic book
For
club,
real.
something like that.
for real, yeah.
Can't stay on
Because-
topic book club.
Word.
What were your first impressions of the book? How it was, the story? Because I read, I don't know who, but said he wanted actors chapters on the book.
Yes, I feel like this book would have been more enjoyable that way, and you would also get a break from Matthew.
Yeah,
Like
I think
I
that's
was fine with Matthew because I like fictional, obnoxious characters. I think they're fun.
But there are levels. There are
Yeah.
the Matthew level, and then are the others from mid cute diary level. They are different.
I've just
Yes,
started
please.
I've just started dipping my toes in romance. But one thing I have found out that I like about romance is I like when it's dual POV. I'm not too much of a fan when it's just single. And so it was really hard for me because I wanted to know more about Hector. Like I was really interested in the little snippets we were getting of his background, even though he said dude way too damn much. But
Yeah.
on Goodreads said they counted how many times he said dude, and it was like 80 something times. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that was the only thing. Like, Hector
like, dude,
was
dude,
perfect
dude.
except for all
the
the
dude.
times he said dude. I was
Yeah.
like, use another word. I'm like, for the love of God, just call him by his name or something. I'm like, please.
Dude, calm down.
And it didn't even sound right for his voice. Like the way the narrator was doing his voice, I was like, dude, I'm like, no. And he's supposed to be like Hispanic or something. How many times are we gonna say dude?
I imagine actor being very tall, very like a strong accent, like dude, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what in the world? It threw me off the first time, and then yeah.
Kat wants the Noel spin-off. Yes, I want
Yes.
that.
Yes.
We need more Noel.
Who knows? Maybe he will do one like that. I have no idea. Because these are all the companion series, so
Yeah, I don't know. I think I like more duels, but I think I didn't mind as much because I don't know what actor will bring to the story. Because it's a little bit blunt, you know.
yeah. I just really found certain parts interesting, like how he had that friend of his, and they had like a little relationship thing going on in the past, and then now they just like it didn't work out for whatever reason and stuff like that. Like I just needed a break from Matthew because God, did he complain about everything under the sun? Like, why would you think in the middle of nowhere there would be a Starbucks? Like, come the hell on. Like, that really pissed me off. And then he was so ungrateful and he was so rude about Noelle's latte art. She tried her best. I wanted to punch him in the face. I was like, you're so damn rude.
But Noelle liked him, so that's all.
Yeah. And he gave her something that I think she will treasure forever. Like
I was just like, dude.
like she said, you can like ditch me anytime if I get gifts like this.
I mean, one thing I did like about Matthew was just how much of like a hoe he was. Like, but how he owned it. Like he was just like, I went to bed with this person and that person, and I would have sex with this person. I'm like, you know what? Live your best life. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Justice for Noel's, yes. Because the girl tried her best.
I think Noelle would be like me trying to draw something. Would be like, I tried. It's not
exactly like it was the first time,
but it was made with heart. But it comes from a very classic New York style, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit different, I think.
I didn't like the way Matthew was treating his grandma either. Like he was really harsh. Like she just wanted to be in the Christmas mood, the Christmas spirit. She was so happy to have him over, and he was just shitting on everything. And I'm like, if you don't leave Granny alone to enjoy her holiday, she's trying to set up this Christmas tree and bring the spirit in, and you're over here ruining everything. But like I get it because he was like uprooted from everything that he knew. His best friend though.
That was not a friend.
I did not like her. I was like, what? I was like, wait, this is supposed to be your best friend. Why is she such a dick? Like, she was so rude.
Is this best friend worse than the one on the love hypothesis that says like, now you have a boyfriend you can dish in an hotel room,
I think
or it
I
is
think
worse?
she might be worse because she was clearly just using him just like so he could pay for like help pay for stuff, and this way they go to parties and everything, because once he went off to that place she just didn't care about him anymore. It was like, all right, whatever.
See, for me, I think the one from the love hypothesis is worse because there was so much more like, oh yes, I love her so much, she's my best friend, all of that, and it's like she's the enemy. Meanwhile, with this one, it's like they were both like at the point that they knew each other, they were both so superficial that like it
Yeah, that's true.
didn't really matter. Like it matters, but it not really,
They were not friends. They were like convenient. Like,
Yeah.
I want to party, she wants to party. You
And
know,
that's basically all they had in common.
Acquaintances.
yeah. Do we want to go to spoilers, or do we have something more to say before?
I don't think there's much to say without spoilers. We're suspicious. Did not trust that mama at all.
I think I have the only other thing I have that's not really spoilers is that I really did like the representation of generalized anxiety.
Yeah.
Because it was both like, for me, it felt very realistic, but it also had really good like coping mechanisms and like actively on page using them as well. So I thought that was great. Personally, that's one of the things that really stood out to me. As an anxious person, I was like, yes, although that sometimes meant like I need space from this. It's too much.
Yeah, it was a little bit too relatable.
Stressing me out. But that's something I have to do in general when I'm reading books that have anxiety rep for my own mental health. But I still appreciate it at the end of the day, So,
what do you guys thought about Island Gate? Like, he just bought an island. It was nothing like.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that they were making such a big deal about it. I'm like, aren't y'all like supposed to be super rich or whatever? Like, why?
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
I was not understanding. I'm like, I guess exile him for buying an island, whatever.
But they were like super rich. It's not something like, oh, we're like politicians and we are using dirty money. No.
Yeah.
One is a writer, the other one is a banker. So
yeah, like it made sense once you got to the end of the book, because then you realize what the real thing was, the real issue they had. But like, I feel like that whole island thing was such a flimsy like cover up, because it just didn't make any sense. Like, if you have all this money and you let him do all these parties and stuff, why do you care if he bought an island of all things? Like,
an
island is always an investment. You can put like hotels there and things like that. It's not probably something that goes to the garbage.
They wanted to punish him.
Okay, I think we can go to spoilers because it gets more interesting. I like the way they connect over the Muppets. It's like,
oh yeah. That was cute though.
Although I prefer the Mickey Mouse one of the Christmas Carol over the Muppets.
Well, I'm a diehard Muppets. I'm sorry. Yeah, I love the Muppets. So that part was like really cute to me. I didn't really like. Well, Heck, I don't know. I wanted more out of Hector, man. Like, I just felt like he had more potential and he wasn't getting it. Like, he was just there. Chopping wood. The man was chopping wood all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole lumberjack outfit.
Yeah, like every time they were outside chopping wood, I'm like, damn, how much wood do they need? Apparently he looked hot doing it, so
I wouldn't mind like a Henry Cavill type chopping wood. He can do that all day for me. That's fine. Do I have a fireplace? No, but we can entertain each other in other ways.
Exactly.
I'm fine. But I don't know. I think the first hit between Hector and Matthew was very weird. Like they just start to attack each other like out of nowhere.
Yeah, they like immediately hated each other off the rip. I mean, I guess I could kind of see Hector's side because he came from a family where he had to work for the things he wanted. And so when he saw Matthew, he's like, oh, here comes this like snobby person that's going to act like his shit don't stink and all this other stuff. So I could kind of understand it. But like, it was weird because they went from like hating each other to like, I want to rip your clothes off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Fast change, yeah.
That's what Kat
Yes,
said.
that's what I'm saying. There was no time for them to build anything. It was just like, I'm angry at you. Now let's hop in bed together. It was odd. Poor
The more you
grandparents.
hate me, the more I love you.
Yeah, for me,
Maybe
that
for-
my main pet peeve is actually that. Like, I can't with books where like characters have sex in their parents' house, in their
Yeah,
grandparents'
it's like
house. I'm like,
you have no respect.
any shame.
And wasn't there like a scene where like I think the grandma almost walked in on like either Hector or Matthew not having any clothes on? I forget. And I was just like,
remember.
I
can't
think they were
remember.
in the school and it was a guard almost caught
Yeah,
them.
the guards. They were
Mhm.
like in the,
Yes.
the place where
they were
gonna
like
do,
supposed to be
like,
watching
this.
something and then they were like doing stuff and then the guard was
Yeah.
like, why are y'all still here?
But I
Same.
think
I
the
think the
grandmother-
grandparents bumped up my rating for me.
Yeah, they definitely were bringing the Christmas vibe of the book. Like I was just like, I love these old people.
Yes.
But I have something. What if this was a scheme also from Grandma to get Matthew a partner?
Probably because she was quick to mention Hector and everything, and she was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you know, Hector lives with us now and everything." And you know, she was setting
And
them
then
up for everything.
The
Decorate the
cooking
tree together.
competition and
Yes, Granny knew what she was doing. She was
But
like,
at least someone had Matthew's best emotional interests at heart
because
because
nobody else
his
seemed to care
parents-
about him.
Yeah.
his parents don't care. Like
They
nothing.
really didn't. They were so
Nothing.
focused on their own BS that they just were like, "We're gonna ship him off, and whatever happens, happens." And we don't
Which
care
is so
that he's
good.
like depressed or that he's anxious or whatever. It is what it is.
No, and
Anxious?
when literally the mom made Matthew turn on Hector, I was like, why?
Yes. Oh
Why
my
are
god.
you
Like as
evil?
soon as
This
she
is your
said that,
son.
I knew she was bullshitting, and I got so mad. I was like, "You're really gonna throw him under the bus?"
I didn't understand why the author did that. He could go on a different direction.
Exactly. Like she could have said it was anybody, but you had to throw in
The-
Hector of
Like
all people.
the other two guys that he was dating as a trio would
Yeah,
be more
that-
interesting.
That would have made more sense. But no, you're
Like-
gonna throw Hector, who didn't do anything besides chop wood and sleep with your son and go on
Help.
cute dates. That was it.
And work on the bookshop.
Yeah, like he was minding his
Yeah.
business. But-
No.
Who knows?
And I don't
They
even know
just
what was
needed that conflict at the end, like all the.
Yeah, I
whole
feel like it was
movie.
just something they needed to, they had to have that little, again, miscommunication stuff, and it just didn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
It's just-
Well, they're not gonna. Yes, like she got away with it, like scot free.
Yeah.
What the fuck? No consequences.
I'm like, yeah, I would have been so mad. Like, one, you made me turn on the person that, like, for once, someone actually loves me for who I am.
Exactly.
You make me say horrible things and make me feel like shit just in general.
Exactly.
And then on top of that, you make me the fool in everyone's eyes because you want to conceal the drama of your own fucking divorce.
Exactly.
Right?
Right? The divorce. I was like, was it that serious? People get divorced all the time. What in the world? You threw your
Exactly.
son under the bus.
Yeah, our parents are supposed to protect the kids. not
Yes.
the other way around.
It was
I
so
don't know. I understand when it comes to celebrities, the divorce is always something that is handled more carefully, but they didn't need to go that far. She's just
Yeah,
a
like-
writer. She's
Exactly.
not
It
like the
wasn't
the
that.
president of the United States, and
Exactly.
They were
It's
trying
not
to cover
like,
it up so bad.
hello.
imagine any author that is like Cassandra Clare getting divorced and being like this scandal.
It's not a big deal. Like,
It happened.
Because it's the same. She got books, and then she got companion series, and then she got a TV show. Only missing the musical.
Yeah, it
Like,
literally did sound like I was reading about like his mom being Cassandra Clare or something, because I was just like, this is sounding way too similar. But
yeah, like no one cares that deeply about the
Exactly.
personal lives of authors. Like, you could be mega rich, no one cares.
and then
about
to not even let your son in on what's going on, at least like be like,
Yeah.
I want you to go to your grandparents because me and your father are talking about getting a divorce, and we need, to just have our adult time to work things out. That's all you had to do. But instead you made him feel bad for buying an island, just tossed him out there, and then barely communicated with him the whole entire time. It's just like, do you even love your child? Like,
and like Matthew's an adult. Like, it's not even like, okay, he's like 12, so yes, you're stressed out about having this conversation with him.
Mhm.
He's not.
He is grown. He is out there flying and trying all over the world, and you out here just, well, I can't tell him about this divorce.
I think they're like, I don't trust him. He's gonna go buy another island or something.
I don't know what their issue was.
They took his money. How was he gonna buy another island anyway?
For real, they cut him off of everything. Like, the dude was being punished for no reason. He did absolutely nothing, and they were just out here like, it's all your fault. You bought this island. You're gonna learn your lesson. Just trying to find out it had nothing to do with the island in the first place.
When they gave him his wallet back and they were expecting some major reaction,
Word.
and he got the cards back, I was like, what?
They're bigger purpose than this divorce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your son is having like a meltdown, and you're over here just like, we're going through a divorce.
The press can't know we're getting a divorce. Like,
Exactly. Like,
And that's the thing that never happens, because there's always a leak. There's always someone who goes to the press.
And then instead of just fessing up, like, you literally were like, oh, Hector this, and you made up a whole fake ass scenario. Took your son back to where you guys were the whole time. He's thinking he got betrayed in like the worst way. And you just let him think that for days. You let him think that. Ridiculous. My goodness.
no, for real. The real villain of this freaking book was his own mother.
Yeah, like with the father, I mean, I don't even know what he was there for, because like he literally said like
bland.
which was like 3 sentences throughout the entire book.
Yeah,
Like,
basically. Basically.
there was no
And
point.
the thing is, her being super famous, and then the parents are having struggle maintaining the bookshop and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, are you awake that your parents are not like okay in life?
I doubt it. I mean, and then it felt like they really weren't supporting Matthew and what he liked to do, like how he said he liked to plan parties, but not just like have them just for the sake of having them, but he actually liked designing and decorating and stuff for them, and they just didn't really care about that. They were just like, oh, he's just a party animal. And I'm like, he's like actually showing a real passion for something. Like, support him. What is wrong with you? I don't know. Everybody there was grimy. His mom was grimy. His so-called best friend was grimy. Like, you just stay in the little town.
Yeah, everybody in the town was good.
Yeah, they were nice.
The lady from the inn threw a lot of shade, like, nope.
Word.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She wasn't holding nothing back.
She's like, I can and I'll say it.
Yeah, I can and I will. I wanted the government to admit she didn't like her own daughter. She got so close, but then basically implied she has anxiety.
Word. Like,
Yeah,
people
no.
who have anxiety are not assholes. Like,
Yeah, like I'm like, her
It's just an
having
excuse.
anxiety doesn't excuse being an evil person.
exactly. Just like, you're rich. Go to therapy. Like, what in the hell? It
They
just
can afford therapy. So
Yes, exactly. I'm like, they can afford full price therapy for each.
that's what I was
freaking
thinking of,
session.
like in the beginning when Matthew first kept dealing with all these anxiety attacks. I'm like, why is there no talk of like going to therapy or anything like that? Being that you guys have so much money. I mean, if you could buy an island, Y'all can go and see some counselors.
He did eventually mention that like he did have someone. He himself was the one basically holding himself back. Like he wouldn't go as regularly as he should have, and wasn't really doing as much as he could have, even the times that he did go. So it was kind of that, at least with Matthew. But with his mom, I'm like,
you had anxiety and didn't do anything about it?
Come on.
I don't believe that.
When you had all that money after you wrote the book.
Exactly. Nothing made sense.
Don't forget the TV series.
The TV series and everything. And then they had the nerve to be like, oh, Matthew embarrassed us with the whole situation that happened with the other two guys that he was with. And I'm like, can you not?
And the part of the actor, like, we need to protect the actor, so we're gonna out Matthew as gay. Like,
yeah.
What?
Everybody was doing him dirty out there. My goodness.
What?
Like, I found him pretentious, and to me, I kind of felt like he gave off that energy of like he was just realizing poor people existed. But I mean, I didn't want anything bad to happen to him.
Like, do they make $50 bills?
Like, he was literally the things he would ask and say. I'm like, dude, I understand you're rolling in dough, but damn, have a little bit of self-awareness, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was
yeah, exactly.
He went through.
And again, none of it actually makes sense because there's not a single author out there, regardless of how much money they have, that anyone cares about their kids, about their marriage.
I can tell you anything about my favorite authors. I could not tell you anything about like their family lives. I don't freaking know, and I don't care. Just write the damn book. So I can
like the only time it becomes relevant is like literally if their child is like accused of a really heinous crime.
Exactly. I think the only thing I know about my favorite author child is one is gay, and because she says she wrote one book about gay characters, and he's like, I inspired you, and she's like, no, but you think you do.
Exactly. I don't know anything about them.
You know, poor people throw $1 bills. He throws $10 bills. It's different.
It just, oh my goodness. I thought it was pretty funny though how like Hector like basically kind of kidnapped him, like pretended that he was his Uber driver.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Although I did feel bad for Matthew because he was panicking, like what the fuck is going on? And I was like, you can't do that to somebody that like suffers anxiety because he's freaking out that he's being kidnapped.
I would try to jump out of the car.
Word. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit there and I think that like you're taking me somewhere. I don't know where I'm going.
I'm in the middle of the woods. No, thank you.
I can't.
And meet someone that you know you didn't like at first sight.
Exactly. Like
no. If that happened to me, I was like, nope. He decided to murder me. It's that. Yeah. He's gonna get my Gucci boots and everything sold out anyway, and I'm gonna be there sad.
Again,
because that wardrobe will be a lot of money now.
Yes, he can sell all that on eBay.
Word, like none of it was practical for where he was at, anyways.
But it's for eBay, so $50 each. You sell it, you ship it. You got your flight back home.
Just sell it. Touched by Matthew Prince.
That will sell a lot, but then it will be incriminating, you know.
True that.
Now we're turning the romance into a thriller.
See, this is the one that would have made sense though from a romance.
Being kidnapped in an Uber, yes.
That's like
one of the that would be a romance.
I was just like, well, they were just gonna leave him be because poor thing was literally like freaking out, begging and everything. You need money, and I was like, how are you gonna pay him? Like, what money are you talking about? You have no access to your accounts.
Take everything but my pants.
No, it was not like the worst book ever. It's not the best.
No, it wasn't like super bad. It just I had like more of a like a cutesy expectation in my mind. It did deliver on the Christmas aspect. I did feel like, you know, the little village and everything. It just like it was just so many like messed up people everywhere, and just like I just cannot with like rich snobby characters. Sometimes I'm like, okay, this is a little bit too much. And everything, like Natalie was saying before, just didn't make sense. Like it didn't need to happen. And it happened anyways. Like you guys are grown ass people, and this is what you come up with, like instead of just being mature.
Mature, that's a very hard word.
And I don't think it would have been that big of a scandal anyways. Like, okay, you're getting a divorce, but it wasn't like, oh my God, he found her with his like her sister or something. Like, what was this? What was literally the big issue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like is it or more drawn out?
Yes,
like,
more drawn out drama that made sense, and for the mom to be held accountable, because I can't believe that she got away with doing what she did, and no one seemed to like. Really
I think the problem was, I think that was a year after, so we lost a year of conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we saw Matthew meet Hector's family and everything. That would
Yeah. It just went like that. I didn't really like the ending too much because it just felt like kind of a little bit rushed, and I was just like, wait, did we ever get to this? Did she ever pay for her sins? Like, I have questions that need answers, and I didn't get it. But I mean, it was cute for what it was. I just wish they had a little bit more chemistry, because I felt like it was just a lot of like sex, and I'm like, that's cool and all, but like, can I see a little bit more?
It's the Muppets.
I did like the grandma like doing her thing, setting them up with certain activities, because I was like, that's cute.
That was so when they record everything.
Yes, oh my God, I was like, let her record her little camcorder.
Like, that's old. No one records family dinners anymore.
She was so freaking cute.
She was so cute. I also liked when Matthew. We kind of saw Matthew with like the driver and her like his nanny or whatever, and when he stayed with them, I was like, so cute.
He helped them out, and I was just like, yes,
their wedding.
His little heart, like his little frozen heart, thawed out. He understood about other people having issues and struggling.
The only thing Grandma didn't do was like, Hector, this is Matthew in kid, and like with a bunch of photos, like.
Oh yeah, that would have been hilarious if she just pulled out a photo album, like get that embarrassing like photo of him in the tub that like every freaking grandparent has of you. I swear to God, like there's always a naked picture somewhere, and they're so proud to show it to people too. Like,
I feel like that might be because Matthew wasn't at his grandparents enough though.
Yeah, I think he said like he would go like when he was a kid, they would go like every winter or something like that.
Before her mother was like a super rich author.
And that's another thing. Like, how rich can you possibly be as an author? Like, this girl's books must have been top tier to be making that much money just by writing books.
I feel like in many ways they were trying to compare it a little bit with like J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
So clearly some can, make it big, but it's not the norm at all.
The who may not be named network is 820 million.
Jesus freaking Christ. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Stephen King is 500 million.
Wow.
How about I was thinking when I was reading it, I was thinking George R.R. Martin, because she was like a fantasy writer and everything, has a show.
120 million.
Yeah, I was
but George R.R. Martin don't write a book in 20 years, so.
Yeah, like he took forever to write certain books, and then there's like this one final book he has to write, and he is taking forever. It's either one final book or two more books, and he's taking forever to write it. And then what's pissing off a lot of fans is that he's not really updating. He's not really saying what is his plan or nothing like that. Same thing with that other guy, that Patrick Rothfuss, I think.
Yeah.
He did like grimy though. He did like a stream, and it was to like raise money or whatever. And he was saying, "Oh, people who donate to this, it it was like I think it was a charity stream, but he was like, people who donate to this, I'll give them like the first chapter or something like that of the book that he's supposed to have been and he never did it. Patrick Rothfuss, the guy that wrote Name of the Wind.
Wait, he took people's money and he never gave the chapter?
He never gave them the chapter that he promised them of like the book that's supposed to have like came out like years ago. And I was just like, I get it was a charity stream, so it wasn't like he pocketed the money himself.
Yeah.
Still petty to do because it's like they did it with also the expectation that they were getting something in return. And he never even said anything, like never updated them as to why they weren't getting it or nothing. He just went radio silent.
Go take the secrets of Game of Thrones to its grave.
At this point, I really feel like they should just pay a different author to just finish their books. Like, if you can't finish it yourself for whatever reason, like, I know there was talks about, like, they were, like, suffering from depression. They were saying, like, they were too anxious. Like, then pay someone you trust, a different author.
Or people just died. Robert Jordan died of cancer, and Sanderson finished the book.
But I think George R. Martin said that he's going to write like a thing in his will or something where he won't allow anybody to finish it. I'm like, you're so fucking petty. Like, that's why I'm not start your stupid series. Because why do you care once you're dead who the fuck finishes your book? Because clearly you're not going to finish it. Like, you don't have much time, bro. Like, you're old as hell. Like, get it together. But I don't know about Patrick Rothfuss, but I know he was like, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna put it in my will. And I'm like, you're a dick. Like, that's why I can't start that series because I would.
The thing is, Patrick Rothfuss is 50, George R. Martin is 75.
Yeah, I'm like
75.
Patrick Rothfuss has some time.
Yes,
so.
But George R. Martin and Patrick Rothfuss never said that he was, as far as I know, he never said he was against somebody else like finishing his series.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know. I'm not an author, but I think some authors have the ability to write a book per year.
Brandon Sanderson, I cannot for the life of me keep up with the man. It's like, damn, every time I turn around, he put out a new book. And then these big ass books, like, bro, do you breathe? Like, what do you do with your time all day? I don't understand.
I hear the world building is like incredible in his books. And I'm like,
I don't think, oh God, I hope there's no Brandon Sanderson, like, huge fans up in here. But, like, I read a couple of his books, and I don't think his writing is all that. Like, I like his books, but I don't think I don't see why he's as popular as he is, in my opinion, except for the fact that he always delivers on what he says he's going to do. Like, if he says, I'm going to have this book out by such and such, he will have it out. And he has his, like, channel where he updates and all this other stuff. So, like, that's the only thing I could think of. But for as popular as he is, I'm just like, maybe I haven't read the good stuff yet, but it doesn't seem like anything that's, like, super special. I read a lot of fantasy authors that I think write better than he does. A lot of self-published ones too, which is the crazy part. Because everybody's like, oh, self-published is horrendous.
I like the Mistborn trilogy.
I haven't read the last book. And then Way of Kings, I'm still fucking trying to get through. I have like 100 pages left.
When he finished that series, I started. Because it will be
I was reading
long.
it. Like, he's an author that I don't mind starting a series for, even if he doesn't, like, you know, even if it's not complete, because I know he will complete it because he's always updating, he's always writing. Mm-hmm. But there's some aspect of it that nobody seems to talk about that feels kind of racist in the Way of Kings. There's, like, the Parshendi group, and they're, like, these dark-skinned people, and they're, like, they can't read, they're not cultured, and I'm like, this sounds a little racist to me, but okay. And ever since I got to that part, I'm just like, I don't know if I could push through. Like, no one talks about that, and I'm just like, it's making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I've only heard 2 booktubers talk about it at all. About, like, eventually they were just uncomfortable, not just with the Way of Kings, but that one.
Yeah, I heard
like, a big one, like that one being basically like, okay, I've had enough. Yeah,
it kind of continued, and I was just like, I don't know. Now, like, now I'm not really like in a hurry.
Random
tangent. It definitely should be, honestly, because we always talk about a different book in every freaking live.
We talked about the book, but then we gave our opinions, and
I mean, with this book, it was kind of short and to the point. Like, there's not really much else you can say, I don't think.
I think it's
300-ish pages. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the font's a little bit small on this. It's not the biggest.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't like
it
the
doesn't-
margins on that.
And it doesn't have a lot of substance because it's like he arrives, he yells, he cries, and then he starts doing things, and then he likes, and then boom, what?
Yeah, it's
a
Yeah,
lot.
it's basically that. He arrives, he complains, he finds out poor people deserve rights, and then that's
yeah, sex. Lots of it, and you know, with a sexy lumberjack. No, I love it. Please. Aw, thanks, Kat.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. I have the Game of Thrones, but I give up.
I have
we're
the
never
first
gonna
book
know.
because I was
the
holding
first
out hope until people were saying that, and then when he sat there and said, "I'm not gonna allow anybody to finish my book when I die," I'm like, then what the fuck is the point? But I didn't buy I bought the first book used, so I'm like, you know, it was like $3, but I'm not gonna read it. I'm too spiteful for that.
I still want to read it just to see what it's about.
Yeah, like I heard
all
it's
the hype
so
is
good, but I'm like, if I'm gonna invest my time in books that are that freaking long, I need to see an ending. And if I don't feel like I'm gonna get that ending, I'm not gonna even put myself through it because then I'm gonna get attached to characters and everything for absolutely nothing. Like
Are people allowed to finish the book in fan fiction?
I think fan fiction you kind of can, but like to actually legally like, finish somebody's book, you have to get permission.
Yeah.
You can't just decide you're going to complete somebody's book.
The problem is, I started when it was like starting the show, and it was being translated here, and I got my father got it for me, and they divided each book in two because that's the thing we do in Portugal. We divide each book in small books. And I read like the first and a half, so 3 books, the first and half of the second, and it's boring. It was boring.
I feel like everybody, that's how it is. Like, there's people that are like, oh, it's so good. And then there's the people that were like, this was so fucking dull.
Imagine.
I don't know what category I would fall into, but I'm like, I'm not going to put myself through it.
I read the first 100 pages and I was kind of bored, but nothing really happened yet. It was just introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was hearing that, like, that the show wasn't that good. I watched like I think the very first episode. The episode where I don't even remember what the hell that girl's name is, was like getting carried and was about to get raped by like all these men. And I was like, no.
No, I watched everything except the last season. And so I don't own any of the books. I'm not interested in reading any of the books.
Yeah, because what people were saying about the show was that a lot of like the shocking scenes that were happening were just like just for the shock value. And I'm just like, I don't like shows like that. Like, you're just torturing people just for the sake of torturing people. Like, there's no reasoning, no point behind it. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I just never watched it.
I preferred the Wheel of Time show. It was more...
The Wheel of Time is a series that I also want to get through. I got like the first 4 books, 4 or 5, something like that. And I haven't cracked open a single one.
I'm making the project
so big.
Yeah, but I'm trying to buy the ones that are big and floppy.
The trade paperbacks, but they're so fucking expensive.
Yeah, I know.
was like, Jesus.
But it's like, if I'm gonna read this in a mass paperback, I will never gonna finish.
Yeah, there's the ones that I got, they're kind of like mass market, but it's like I don't know how to explain. It's like a little bit wider, but they're not
taller, right?
Yeah, they're a little bit taller. They're not trade paperbacks, but I don't know what it is with adult authors that, right? Yeah, like I heard that books 6 to 7, something like that. It's considered like the slog.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be super boring. I also heard that there was a lot of like, the author says a lot of things about like braid tugging, like women tugging their braids all the time, and I'm just like, I don't even know. I don't know what to expect. I've never read anything by that author before. So, but I do want to at least give it a shot because I'm like, who knows? Maybe I'm missing out on something that I'll actually enjoy. But the size, these authors need to stop writing these bricks.
Because he's dead, but
I love adult fantasy, but they're so freaking long, and I'm just like, I can't. do this.
No, I can't do it. I don't have the attention span. I don't have the time. I'm like, if I start one, I'm gonna lose morale probably not even halfway
That's
through.
my
Because I'm like, at this
problem.
point, I would have already read like 2 books. No,
That's my problem with adult fantasies. Like, I will read maybe like the first book, maybe the second, and then I will take a break. But the problem is, you take a break, then you got to reread the first.
Everything.
I'm like, I don't want to do that. But the completionist in me will not allow me to just look up what the fuck happened. Like, I could literally look up a summary or a review, and I can't do it. I'm just
Not
like,
the
no.
same.
I probably have to do that with the Poppy War because I read the first one and it's passing a year, and I'm like, I
Me
kind of don't
too.
remember what happened.
I was trying to explain it to my husband. My husband was like, I don't understand why you can't just watch a fucking video and just like continue. And I'm like, you don't understand. I will know that I did not reread those books.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
I feel
the principle of the matter.
Exactly. He's like,
this is
okay,
why I like waiting for all the books to come out first.
yeah,
Because
but
once
like
you wait,
the problem with that is it's like also authors are like, if you don't read the books, then we don't get enough publicity in order to publish the next one. So it's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I'm just like, but at the same time, I don't want to waste my time.
And then, yeah, that happened with the Little Thieves author because it's supposed to be a standalone. And then she announced the second one. I was like, okay, I have to wait like almost 2 years for the second one. But never mind. And then she announced the third one. I'm like, just stop playing with my heart.
It's like me with the Priory of the Orange Tree. I told myself I was going to read it this month because the prequel book or whatever is coming out. First of all, I didn't know the prequel book was going to be that big. Like, ma'am, you said a prequel. That is a big ass book to be just like a little snippet of what happened in the damn beginning. And the Priory of the Orange Tree is like 800 pages as well. And I'm just like, I might have overestimated what I was going to do. Because I was thinking, all right, we're looking at maybe like a 300-400 page book tops since it's a prequel. Huge. Yeah, I think it's a little. They said it's a little bit longer than Priory, and I'm like, how?
Wait,
it's cool. How are you longer? What are you gonna talk about? I don't understand. But I heard she's another author that just can't seem to write short books, and I'm just like, I don't know where y'all get the time or the energy, because just trying to read it is a lot. I can't imagine writing it and plotting it out and all.
It's 30 pages longer than Priory of the Orange.
No.
I can't.
And so I wish
more power.
I
love that for you. I love that for you. I can only do that.
I barely remember this book, and I just read it.
I could only remember if it was like a book I really loved and if it was like maybe 300-400 pages. But if it's anything longer than that, or if it has a whole bunch of characters, I'm not remembering shit. Because they're complicated.
Yeah.
I just remember some twists on thrillers. It's the thing I hate the most.
Oh.
I remember the twist.
Yeah. That's the thing I don't like either, because I'm just like, if I want to reread it, that's why I don't buy thrillers at all, because I'm just like, once I know the twist, I know I'm not going to pick this book up again. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I never buy it.
Fantasy, I tend to forget even characters' name. Like, who is this?
And then people are like, oh, all you have to do is annotate. I don't remember nothing. I can annotate all day and be like, why the fuck did I highlight this? Like, and I'm horrible with characters. Like, if it's a lot of characters, I literally like
that's why I look for fan art, trying to make an image to my brain saying like, imagine this name with that face, with name, so I can start to assimilate things. Because otherwise, like, who the fuck is this?
I try to picture like actors, so this way I'll be like, okay, this character was this actor and that actor. But it's just a lot that goes on. And then I'm like, I don't understand why I like adult fantasy, and it gives me this much of a headache. Like, my husband will be like, then just don't read it if it stresses you out that much. And I'm like, you first of all need to shush, because you don't read. You don't understand what I'm going through. Like, he reads like comics and manga, but that's like about it. And I'm just like, you don't get where I'm coming from. And he's like, well, at least with comics and manga, I can see what the characters look like, so I'm not struggling like you are. And I'm like, you know what? Shut the fuck up.
No, No, for real though. With manga,
At-
for me, it's even worse. I'm like, I can visualize perfectly the character. I remember exactly what they look like, and then it's like, what the fuck is their name again?
Yes.
I don't know.
And then in fantasy, they have them like complicated ass names, and it's like, please be normal because
And when they are not like variations of the same name or very similar, they're like, but this
or if
is
they
still-
don't really describe what they look like, I hate that because I'm like, now I gotta picture what they look like, and then if I don't see them for like the next 4 chapters, I'm gonna forget all about them and
See,
what
I
they're
don't
supposed to
really
look like.
care about because I have that thing where you can't like picture things.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
what is
so
that?
I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah, no, I have a similar thing. Like sometimes I can picture one very specific scene in a lot of detail,
Yeah.
but most of the time I can maybe imagine some blobs and
Yeah,
like it's a
exactly.
conversation, okay.
I have a very
So I never pay attention. Are their eyes brown? Are they blue?
I don't
Are
care.
No,
they-
I have
don't know, and I don't care. And I
Yep.
hate when it's like the Spanish Love Deception where they tell you 5 million times. I'm like, I beg you, I want to forget. At this point, I want to forget.
He's tall, he has
No,
blue
I have-
eyes, and deep voice.
I have a very vivid imagination. Like I can picture everything. It's literally like a movie in my head. So it annoys me sometimes when they don't go into detail of what they look like at least once, because then I'm trying to picture it in my mind. And then like it'll be, I'm halfway through the book and a character that I'm picturing the whole time has like brown hair. You're telling me they're blonde. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like this whole entire time, why didn't you mention that? It would took you 2 seconds to tell me they were blonde. Because then it throws me off completely. What's worse is when you visualize the character. Yes, that is a thing I hate too. And again, it's a thing my husband does not understand because he's like, well, it's just, he's like, who cares? It's just an adaptation. And I'm like, yeah, but in my head, they look like someone else. And now they look like this. And I can't do it.
Or they don't get the vibes right.
Yeah, like they'll pick, like sometimes I feel like they just pick characters that they think are going to look hot, but it's like, it doesn't fit the role of what they're supposed to be. Like, except for The Witcher. They did a good job.
But
I mean,
now
not anymore, but like,
Yeah, I was like,
but he needs
Not
to come
anymore.
back.
I'm so sad that he's gone.
Exactly. I'm like, well, there goes my reason for watching it. I was telling my husband I was liking the plot, but we all knew what the plot was. But yeah, he's like, oh, you don't really talk about watching it anymore. I'm like, yeah, I just fell off of it. Because he doesn't watch it, so he doesn't know that the actors changed. And I'm just like, yeah, I just, it
Did
was
the new season come out already?
I don't think so, but I saw the picture of him and I'm just like, nope, I'm not gonna do
I
it.
haven't.
Like he's not an ugly person, but it's just like you can't go to him after having like Henry Cavill. Like,
yeah,
it's just unfair.
they go to the
Perfect
We
brother.
did him dirty.
They go to the brother, maybe. Not
Yeah.
They go to Chris, maybe.
Yeah, we
But not
probably
William.
would have had something going there, but
Yeah.
you picked the wrong brother, and I'm just like, yeah, I did him dirty because I knew good and well he wasn't gonna match up.
No.
Hey, maybe he'll surprise us.
I can't. I feel bad because I feel so shallow. Like, oh, bro, you're not hot, so I can't watch you. But it's
No,
just-
hey, Mel, I'm shallow about everything I watch. I'm like, if I'm seeing it on my TV, I'm like, these people better be pretty or I'm not wasting my time.
Exactly. And not only is he pretty, but he also did the role really good, in my opinion. And I'm just like, I don't feel like Liam's going to do as good of a job. It's just,
The
I
thing is,
can see it.
Harry is a geek. He read The Witcher. He played The Witcher.
Yes.
So he knew the character.
He's such a nerd. And it's like, why can't we find nerds that look hot like that in real life? Like, I was like, what? I
we're
can't
not
believe. Like, he's not just like a regular nerd. He's like a full-on geek. And I'm like, listen, I can get behind that. I don't know what he's talking about when he's talking about like all those Warhammer novels and stuff like that. But I'll sit there and listen to him talk about it. But I don't know what he's talking about. He was like, oh, making these factions and everything. I'm like, yep. Whatever you say, bro.
It's a little bit like how Chris Evan is dating a Portuguese actress. And I'm like, I'm Portuguese.
I'm close. Exactly. Thank you, Kat. That's the same thing with me. I cannot stand Liam.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know he had a brother.
I just know Liam married Miley Cyrus. Just that.
Oh, did he?
I never pay attention
Yeah.
to stuff like that.
They did a movie together from the Nicholas Spark book.
Oh yeah.
And then they
And is
dated
Liam
on
also
and
the one
off.
that was in the Hunger Games?
Yeah, he was on
Wait,
the Hunger
what?
Games.
Yeah.
I never watched the games.
He
The
was
other
the
one,
cute
there's
guy.
Peeta and the other one,
Oh,
other
he
one.
was the
Gail. Gail.
I did not know.
Cheated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And then like they got back together like once they became like adults and everything, but like apparently he was trying to control like how she acted because she like embarrassed him or something. So she was like, "Yeah, I'm out of here," which good for her.
Good for her.
Because it's like, why would you be such a stick in the mud? Talking about like, oh, you're so embarrassing and you're this and you're that. Like, well, be boring by yourself. I don't even like Miley like that, but I'm just like, I hate when people try to like stamp down somebody else's like personality to fit what you want. And it's like, no, you knew that what kind of person she was before you got with her. Like, let her thrive or leave her alone.
No, that's what we were talking about Prince Harry before the live. She didn't know anything. She was just oblivious, of course.
Yeah. I'm so scared to read. Like, I don't know. I'm on the fence about that book. I want to read it, but then I'm like, is it a little bit too much TMI? Because they say that it goes into detail about everything. That apparently he got like syphilis or something. And I was like, sir.
The one I think the I have to tell you, Natalie, because you didn't listen. There's this excerpt on audio narrated by him saying that he got a boo-boo on his weenie.
Those exactly
like a frostbite. Not these words, but I'm just making because he used the real P word. So okay, and so a friend or a girlfriend something says to put the cream, and the cream was the smell of the mother's cream. So he put the cream on the weenie, thinking on his mother.
Oh my god!
Oh goodness!
No!
Oh my gosh!
No! So many levels.
My library has this actually because now
I love that Kat's like, oh, I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, like that's how I'm feeling. I'm like, wait, maybe the library has some.
Like he even talks about his and his brother if they are cut or uncut.
Why do we need
Oh yeah, I
to know?
heard that. I was like, who needs to know? I'm not trying to think of your old ass brother and whether he's circumcised or not. Okay, so my library does have it. I'm about to place the hold right now. We're looking at like 11. We're looking at 11 weeks.
Telling us all about this book.
All I know is if he says something that traumatizes him, I'm gonna add him personally on Twitter and be like, "Sir, what the fuck were you thinking when you wrote this?" Because
I but this is just my opinion. When you have problems with your family, you don't write a book about it. Unless you want just to cut them out
I feel like
of
you
your life.
can. Like I recently, like literally just finished the audiobook for I'm Glad My Mom Died. And like she went into detail, but it wasn't like I feel like from what people have been saying about this book, he goes into like really, really explicit details that people don't even know.
She didn't want to have a relationship with her mother. She's glad she died. He said on the interview, I want my father and my brother to talk to me and to be a family again. Like, dude, so don't go on tell-alls. Do you think someone will be glad that you were telling all the secrets? He shared text message between Meghan and Kate. Text message.
He's embarrassing. Too much. But I agree with what you said earlier. Like when you were saying that it's like he doesn't take accountability for the things that he's done. He tries to blame other people. And it's like, bro, like you messed up on certain aspects too, you know? Not to mention like your family, your whole bloodline is like a bunch of colonizers. But that's a whole different topic. And it's just like, I'm pretty sure he didn't really touch on that in his book because they never do.
I don't know. I guess it's a royal family. It's always a different family than ours. It's an institution, of course. It's an institution. That's what it means to be a royal family. But I don't know. It doesn't make sense. All the things he says and he claims, like she was a victim. She's the next Diana. Like
yeah, that I don't get. Like when people say that, I'm just like, how?
He sees Megan as Diana. I'm like, what?
What's that complex they say when like you
It's
like
mommy.
like when you love your parents so much that it's kind of borderline, almost like
I think it's from the Greek myths. It's like
Oedipus complex or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's something Greek.
Like you try to look for your parents in your partner,
He
like in a
said
very
that.
weird way.
He talks about his brother being bold, like like I saw my brother being bold and he doesn't resemble my mother anymore. Like that's creepy.
Dude needs to go to therapy. What the fuck is wrong with him? What is wrong with him? They're gonna have him like locked up or something. Like he's gonna get put away because the man's needs some help. Why is she married to him? Like, does she not find any of this weird?
No, because from my perspective, she's manipulating him to make that. In my point of view, because she played also the victim and she played the dart of I'm like your mother, so I'm gonna end up dead. So you do everything for me.
Oh God, that's gross. That's so much baggage to unpack.
Yeah.
The main takeaway. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm a huge advocate for that. Like maybe try that before you start writing a book and telling people your personal problems because
supposedly he says on the book he's taking therapy for years before meeting Megan, and while he's with Megan, but then the palace didn't approve Megan to go to therapy. You see
what
here
what does that have to do with him? Like going to therapy?
That doesn't make sense if you say like, oh, because they don't talk about mental health. Dude, you're having therapy. You could call your therapist and said, my wife needs.
Exactly. And you're a grown man. Who cares? Like my family doesn't really talk about therapy and stuff like that, but that's what I'm in. Like they didn't talk about mental health. I was raised to be like, either pray it away or just, eat the right types of foods and go out and exercise, get some sun. And I knew like once I got out of there, I was like, no, I need to go get some help. And to be like, I don't understand how you could be that grown and just be like,
you need it.
And then you have access to it. Like, you have the money to go.
No, they live in a small cottage.
Oh, yeah, the small Oh, my goodness. I was so annoyed when I saw that. I was like, are you serious? Y'all made it seem like they was living in a shack or something.
Yeah, no water. No
exactly. They were so like extra about it.
And then he claims it was so small because he couldn't stay tall, but he lived there 3 years prior, moved with her. And in that time he grew. He grew in those 3 years. 10 inches, at least.
And I'm interested now. Like I said, I just hope his voice doesn't put me to sleep because every time I hear that man talk, I'm just like, his voice is so boring and dry. But maybe I don't know. I have a thing about like British accents. I don't think they're sexy. I just think they're very dry. So it's like,
for me, there's an age limit to it. There's an age limit. At a certain point, I'm like, you are a grandfather or grandmother, and I'm going to fall asleep to this little bedtime story that you're telling.
I feel like I'm gonna be like dozing off, and then he's just gonna say something completely out of pocket, and I'm gonna like, what the fuck?
I think that will happen.
Because so many people seem to be shocked, and I'm like, I want the tea. What's going on? But we shall see what happens. Although I do have limits, so if it's a little too much, I'll be like, I ain't doing this no more.
Okay. Should we end or?
Oh yeah, we're over now.
And I'm pretty
spent half of this not talking about the book.
Word. We really have to start like putting in our titles like the title of the book that we're like talking about, and then be like plus other things. Because we're never gonna stick to just the book.
we have to make an hour, at least an hour of live. If we don't talk, we have to talk.
We're gonna be like plus some tea or some tidbits that we need to talk about.
So thank you all for coming.
Yes,
this was a live discussion for Your Mean One Matthew Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Next month is Then There Is a Flash by
Cannibalism. By Augustine, I think her name is. And then I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name. Something with a B.
I'm
Let
trying
me
to
see.
open the
Let me see again.
Augustina Bastericka, something like that. Bastericka.
She's Brazilian, right?
Yeah, but
She's Brazilian.
I think so.
Buenos Aires.
Yeah, Buenos Aires.
Nice.
So, and the theme for February is robots by a black author with a black character. We are still open for suggestions, so you can put there.
Yeah, like I said, I think I know somebody who reads a lot of like out there speculative fiction, science fiction by black authors. So I'm gonna ask them if they have any recs because I cannot think of any with robots. Like I could think of ones with aliens and stuff, but robots.
Yeah. No, I know that at least a couple of the ones that were dropped I'm familiar with. I haven't read either though, so like
Yeah.
I'd be totally open to reading them.
I know zero about robots.
But yeah, I was trying to look for some and I was struggling. Or like it was the annoying thing of like I couldn't just get a list of like, okay, raw just sci-fi books by black authors.
If
They
you
wanted to just do that sci-fi fantasy, and I'm like, no, you have a bunch of fantasy on here, and maybe like two.
Or sometimes they'll still throw in authors that are like, I was trying to do this before because I was looking for grimdark fantasy by black authors, and I was getting so many white authors, and I'm like, are you not seeing the word black? Like, what the fuck?
Yes, exactly.
They're recommending like Teen Kingfisher and stuff like that. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Other than the ones I posted, we appreciate the fact that you actually posted some, Cat.
Yeah,
you're doing the Lord's work because I didn't post a single thing.
I have a ton.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can think of so many alien ones and stuff like that, but for the life of me, I cannot think of any with robots.
Yeah, I think post-apocalyptic virus is still a very wound.
No, I found one that I was tempted to drop, but I'm like, this is just me showing my bias because it was like a romance with an AI.
Well, to be fair, we said as long as it had robots.
It's a black author, AI.
Listen, it's a black author. February is the month of love. Boom, look at
I think you should drop it.
Yeah, like that's two things right there. The month of love and the month of Black history. Where we go.
Yeah.
Look at Natalie's mind. You see? A genius. I didn't even think of that.
She had
I mean, I still don't know any of I still don't know any books like that either, but as someone
I could probably do a deep dive and see if I find any others in that realm.
Yeah,
because I feel like that would be easier for me to find than just straight up sci-fi. Like I'm fighting for my life over here.
Word, I'm just sitting here like. I think the other day I was like, "Is I, Robot? Was that a book? Was that written by a black person?" I was so desperate trying to think, but I'm like, my brain draws a blank. I don't know that many robot books in general, to be honest, though, except that like Murderbot series because everybody and their mother talked about it.
Yeah, it's like the Murderbot series. I love Becky Chambers, so she has.
I have to start
Robot series. But like both of those are white authors. So
yeah.
No wins there.
Difficult. After 10 years of flesh, reading a romance.
Reading a romance will be fun.
Word.
Oh my gosh.
Shit.
Good. There you go.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not. I don't have any tab open, but I still have the camera open and I can hear you, but I cannot see you. And I cannot end the
process. He can't end the live, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's like we might be here for a while until I figure it out.
Like, I don't know what is happening. Like, okay, it worked.
You found
I
us?
don't know how.
Okay.
I now I see the tab, but it's not connecting. So
It's okay. We can go on another tangent.
Oh my gosh.
okay, just close the tab.
I'm really trying to think of some and I cannot. It's driving me nuts.
Okay.
Why?
Hugo
How do
sounded
I-
like a
Hell?
robot.
Why is it that I was on Google and I was going to put black sci-fi books featuring robots, but the like predictive text put black sci-fi books featuring aliens known as boogers.
What?
I swear to God.
Oh my gosh.
I have never in my life heard of that. What the hell?
No.
I just want robots, man. I feel like either Nnedi Okorafor or maybe N.K. Jemisin might have some.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Right, let me see this one that I know I already have. So let me see.
Okay.
Oh yeah, see, well, this is kind of like robot. This, what is it called? It's called Noor by Nnedi Okorafor, and it's about this girl, and she has like augmentation, so she has like robot parts to her.
Okay.
She's not
I think
100%
that
a robot.
counts. I think that
Yeah.
still counts. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know she writes. I know she writes a lot of sci-fi, so she's definitely
Yeah.
something that popped up on my mind.
Yeah, biotechnology. Yeah, definitely drop that one in.
Okay. Drop Nora in, and I think there was another one. Remote control. No, remote control. I have no idea if that one.
Yeah, I looked at the summary a little bit because I do have remote control, but it doesn't seem.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's robots.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we lost Ugo, so we're still live.
Oh, no.
You gotta go back.
We're
She
protecting
said I
the
took the
lives,
ultimate
guys.
action. I can't.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I had Noor on my TBR and I didn't know it had to do with robots. What's wrong with me?
Oh my
Hold on, I'm about to drop it into.
I'm back.
No, he's back.
Yay!
I had to restart. It's so weird. The
Oh
browser
my
took
The way
God.
that you were able to hear us but not see us, that's weird.
I couldn't see you, and the camera was turned on, and I could listen, and I could talk, but I couldn't open. And then he opened again the tabs, like they were like in the second screen, and then but it stopped. I couldn't click on anything, so I had to restart the computer.
Oh yeah, you guys had Wait, Crier's War is by a black author? I didn't know that.
No, that one's not. Mm-mm.
Oh, I see it in the chat. That's why. Or is that for like? Was that for something else?
Cryzor does have robots. That's the element that it has.
Does it have Because I know it doesn't have to be by a black author. It could also just have black characters as like.
I can't remember. I read it a while ago, so I can't recall. I just know it's sapphic and it does have.
I've never read it, so I have no freaking clue. Oh, War Girls. I did hear about that. I didn't know that that was robots. Nice. I heard War Girls is good.
Yeah.
Prey gods.
It was hard. We took a little bit the stretch of let's try. It happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it would have been like get like a romance by a Black author or a fantasy, we would have had so many recommendations.
Yeah, the thing was the theme. If it was aliens, maybe we got lucky.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
can think of a lot with aliens, but robots is just a headache. Yeah, augmentation counts, so that's perfectly fine, Kat. The one that I just put in the chat,
Yeah.
Laura, that's augmentation as well. I don't think we're gonna find one that has like just a robot as a main character. Yeah, I heard really good things about War Girls and about just that author in general. Like, I heard their books are good. Never read any of their books though. I have read Nettie Okorafor before.
Yeah.
So now that I'm back, we can finish.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We were just out here looking for doing recommendations.
Yes.
It's so hard to find.
Yeah, so the poll's gonna be soon, as we put things we can keep like for next week, and then the March theme will be soon. Okay.
All right.
Right.
We should open
Library holds
the channels for Tenor is a Flash soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't started it yet.
Just
But
need
now
to
that I
how many
got it,
child has and divide it. Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meet you. I just need to. Sometimes it's hard to divide, but I can see how many and divide it.
I don't think it's a long book.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.